We've got some breaking news in a CBS Sports HQ, and it is a blockbuster. Less than a week after throwing out feelers, the Carolina Panthers, well, they found a dance partner to trade all-pro running back Christian McCaffrey, and it's the San Francisco 49ers. The package of picks heading back to Carolina includes a second-rounder in 2023, a third-rounder in 23, a fourth-rounder in 23, and a fifth-rounder in 2024. Christian McCaffrey heading to the Bay. All right, joining us now for instant reaction, CBS Sports senior NFL writer Pete Prisco. Pete, the news comes down here late Thursday night that Christian McCaffrey is headed to the Bay Area to play for the San Francisco 49ers. When you take a look at the compensation heading back to Carolina, does the money match up here in your eyes?
Well, I think Carolina got a good deal out of this. I mean, clearly they're looking to build for the future, and you got to get some assets back for a guy who, look, let's be honest about it. This year has been on the field. He hadn't been on the field the last couple of years all that much. He's getting a little older as a running back, and he has an enormous contract. So I think from that standpoint, I think Carolina got back a nice haul for Christian McCaffrey. And on the other side, this is San Francisco going all in. Mm-hmm. They're doing their Rams. The Rams did it a year ago, and that's what it looks like for the 49ers.
All right, well, when you take a look at it and you look at the 49ers through that vein, sort of the all-in chips in the middle approach right now, project Christian McCaffrey in this offense that is often running back by committee for Kyle Shanahan, and that running back depth has been tested early here in 2022. But with a feature back now there, how do you see McCaffrey fitting into this always exciting offensive approach from Kyle Shanahan?
Oh, he'll fit in perfectly. I mean, he's a guy that can do everything. He can catch the ball out of the backfield. They like to throw to the backs. He can, put his foot in the ground, and in those wide zones, he can get outside. So I think he fits with what they want to do. The problem is, they've tried a million backs at that position, and a bunch of them have had success. Some of them have not. Some of the guys they drafted pretty high have not. So I get it. I understand it. They're going for it. But he's got an enormous contract the next 3 years. He's got a cap figure of $19 million. Pushing it forward to next year, that means they'll have 7 players on the books with cap figures over $15 million. That's a lot of money at the top end of your top part of your roster. So they're going to have to do some finagling. Mm-hmm. They're going for it this year. I wouldn't have made this deal, I'll be honest with you. I don't think the 49ers needed to make the deal. But if you're Deebo Samuel, you're happy. Now you can just be a wide receiver again.
Well, I'm glad you bring it up in terms of the cap situation there in San Francisco, because things are always easier when you're playing football with a quarterback that's on a rookie contract. Jimmy Garoppolo is that starting quarterback in San Francisco for the remainder of this season with what happened to Trey Lance earlier in the year. How does this affect the quarterback situation in 2023 and beyond in San Francisco, taking on McCaffrey money? What's it look like? Does this spell, hey, last hurrah here for Jimmy Garoppolo in San Francisco?
Oh, I think it was the last hurrah for Jimmy Garoppolo anyways. Mm-hmm. I think their ideal scenario is to play Trey Lance. They want him to be their quarterback. If he doesn't get hurt, he probably is their quarterback. But he did get hurt. They had the guy in the background that could step up and be able to play this year in Jimmy Garoppolo. They're lucky they did. And it's worked out for him so far. I think, they're a contender in that division. Mm-hmm. Are they a contender in the NFC? If they can get the offense fixed and get guys back healthy on defense, they can be. So, yeah. Look, I understand where they're coming from. I just wouldn't have given up all those assets. Remember, this is a team that gave up a bunch of assets to go up and get Trey Lance a year ago. So this is a risky move for the 49ers, but I think they're throwing all their chips into the middle of the table, and they're saying we're going for it.
Yeah, it's essentially their 2023 draft and then a late-round pick there in 2024. I only ask the question here, Pete, because operating in the hypothetical, which is something we do not do, if Jimmy Garoppolo's looking in that Lombardi trophy, seeing his reflection at the end of this season with Christian McCaffrey being the piece that put them over here, things do become increasingly more interesting when you're talking about the future of the quarterback position in San Francisco.
Well, yeah, but I don't think they're going to, look, when you make a move to go up and get that guy that you think is your franchise quarterback and you give up all those assets, he's going to be your quarterback at some point. Ideally, they would have liked to have had him be the quarterback this year, but it didn't work out. He got hurt. But a little cautionary tale for the San Francisco 49ers. It will be worth it if you get the Super Bowl like the Rams did. It will not be worth it if you don't. Look what's happening to the Rams now. They're not the same team. They're not the same roster. But you know what? They sold their soul to get a Super Bowl, and it worked. If you sell your soul to get a Super Bowl and it doesn't work, there's going to be lean years in San Francisco for a while after that.
No doubt about that. Let's end here on a Christian McCaffrey note because he is the hallmark piece of this deal heading to San Francisco. Season 6, and as we alluded to, injury problems in the past. Has not plagued him yet this year. But he's been running and catching and doing it all for a team that really has never really had aspirations of championship football outside of a couple years during his tenure in Carolina. What sort of new lease on life does this do for his talent?
Oh, I think it's great for him. I think it gives him a chance to go play for a team that can actually compete for something. And, you know, if he played the rest of this season in Carolina, it would not have been a good situation for him. They're a dreadful offense. They have a dreadful system. And I think going to San Francisco, playing for an offensive wizard like Kyle Shanahan will be good for him. So, I look, from his standpoint, it's a great move. From the 49ers standpoint, I think it's an okay move. And from the Panthers standpoint, it's going to end up being a really good move because you get rid of a hefty contract and you get a lot of assets back for him. I don't like trading for running backs that are coming toward their the back end of their career. It just doesn't work out. I never see it work out. I'll be shocked if this works out for the long run for the 49ers.
He is CBS senior NFL writer Pete Prisco. Pete, sleep fast. We'll see you on Sunday.
You got it. Take care.
All right, here's another look at those trade details with the 49ers receiving the all-pro back in Christian McCaffrey. We'll see what he looks like in that Kyle Shanahan offense. Kyle must be licking his chops to have that sort of talent now at his disposal next to the likes of Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, the rest of that Niners offensive attack. In return, the Panthers, they'll receive the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th in 2023 and a 5th in 2024.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.